Morning, Kathy. Just give me just a second. I'm getting the link posted up on socials real quick, and I'll be right with you. Hello. Thank you for joining me, Kathy. How you doing? As you can see here, we are awaiting, I believe, the exit from the residence. But also some of the things that we have going on is we have some last-minute pardons from the Biden administration for some, we'll just say, key individuals. It's a nice way to put it. So while we await this, I will turn this down just a bit. And I will keep an eye on it. But the big thing is, if you go over... Oh, Benny Johnson had a kid too. That was neat. But you can see here. Let's see. I don't have this cropped very well yet. We're still kind of doing this live, folks. But you can see here, Fauci got a pardon. Yes. The January 6th committee got a pardon. And yes, I believe, as Tim points out here, that it was political. There's no logical reason to expect Trump to retaliate against Fauci, who he kept on as his advisor. So the only reason I could see, as Tim Pool here points out, is he got a pardon because he was guilty of something. Now he's pardoned, so we'll see if that gets challenged in court. But also, some things going on. We have some other fun, like Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen, announced the U.S. will be hit with the debt limit Tuesday. That's tomorrow, folks, the day after the inauguration. It's kind of suspicious. I don't know what you guys think about that, but to set that up seems kind of messed up. And then we also have asylum seekers. I'll use pretty heavy air quotes there. Were caught with 30,000 rounds of ammunition in Arizona, including 10,000 50 caliber rounds. The Cochise, which I think is a hilarious name, county deputies seized a staggering cache of 10,000 50 BMG rounds and nearly 20,000 AK-47 rounds found stuffed into vehicles transported by asylum seekers. With the 50 cal rounds alone, valued at $38,500, ATF and Homeland Security are leading the investigation into the high-stakes ammo haul. Now, this could just be a gun club, guys, but you never know. Interesting timing. So thank you, Mario, for that reporting. I would love to have 20,000 rounds of AK-47 ammo. Maybe I'll work on that. And then, as always, G Prime 85, George Stephanopoulos, always has some very good artwork. If you haven't checked him out, please do. But you can see here, why would Fauci need a pardon? Interesting thoughts. I don't know. Why do you think that the people on the January 6th committee needed a pardon? Pardons are not to protect you from accusations. They're to protect you from prosecutions. So unless Biden had very good evidence and inside knowledge on the guilt of a crime, then there's no reason to pardon these folks. The other thing that he might be considering is maybe the incoming administration would abuse the Department of Justice to the same level that his did, which is also a glaring thing. It's an admission that he understands that the Department of Justice had been weaponized, that it was doing things it was not supposed to do. It was pursuing political opponents and adversaries. It was going after people that were no longer in office. So he abused the Justice Department, or at least the people in his administration did. There's significant questions into whether or not Biden was actually behind a lot of the decisions in this last administration. And I'm not just saying that. It is also my opinion. But if you noticed while I was flipping through these, also congratulations, Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson Whitaker Edward Johnson, born at 4:27 a.m. today. So inauguration, baby. Also interesting. I think this is hilarious. Robbie Starbuck does really good reporting. If you haven't followed his reporting on X, you should. Against the counter DEI narrative that he carries, very strong, has kept a lot of companies or forced a lot of companies to change their positions with DEI. But you can see here, President Trump should charter endless flights of illegals to the Vatican until the Pope rejects the flights or begs for it to stop, thereby proving he's a hypocrite. I think that's an interesting take. But as much as many people don't like Alex Jones, guys, he's right more times than he's not. Yes, he's been wrong about some things, but the man's right a lot. He also is looking really good right now. He's been putting in a lot of work, a lot of exercise, a lot of dedication to turning his health around. Keep it up, buddy. You're doing great. But Trump's DOJ is going to investigate Biden's executive orders after it was revealed that the deep state was issuing them without Biden's knowledge. Now, that is an opinion by Alex and InfoWars. But on top of that opinion is, let's see if we can find it. Yes. So here we have Speaker Johnson. Yeah, like by cutting off LNG exports, it makes Russia more money. So it's interesting that he would sign an executive order cutting off LNG exports from the United States, because then we could give them to our allies in Europe and they would be less dependent on Russia and Russia would get less money. What's up, Dario? Viva la libertad, carajo, sir. Greetings from Buenos Aires. Thank you for joining us. Yep. So here he's saying, look, Biden signed an executive order ending LNG exports. Also, I love that MAGA can stand for Make America Great Again and also Make Argentina Great Again. So welcome to the stream. You did do that. Which is insane. Guys, the implications of that, out of control. Absolutely out of control. Let's just pull this back up while we talk. Yeah, the fact that Speaker Johnson can talk to Biden about an executive order that Biden signed and Biden had no recollection, either A, demonstrates significant cognitive decline to where I question whether he should be in charge. Not that I wanted Kamala in charge instead, but the 25th Amendment probably should have been heavily considered. And I'm really surprised they didn't do it, because that would have trolled Trump real hard because of all of his 45, 47 merch. He would have had to get rid of it, because if he had stepped aside and Kamala Harris would have took over, she would have been the 47th president and he would have been 48. So he would have had to redo all of his merch to be 45, 48. I'm shocked that they didn't actually do that. But the big thing is, if he's either significant cognitive decline and forgot that he signed the executive order that just happened to ban the LNG exports, or sorry, not ban, but delay or suspend LNG exports. So he forgot about that. Or he didn't actually sign it and they're being signed by somebody else. Either one of those implications is horrible for the country. Now, last 4 years in this country have been pretty bad, regardless of what they tell you that the economy is great. On paper, maybe. Mad respect, by the way, to these folks in uniform. This ceremonial process. Oh, you got some Space Force, some Air Force, some Navy. Nice. I'd never actually seen a Space Force insignia patch. That's interesting. I still think it looks like Starfleet, but that was probably somewhat intentional. So it looks like people are still getting together. It is a beautiful room, by the way. I don't know if any of you have been to the Capitol or the Jefferson Memorial or the archives or any of the other government buildings down in DC. They are beautiful buildings. They are interesting to visit. They annoy the shit out of me, though, because let's be honest, that amount of opulence, we can't afford it. Now, we have these big fancy buildings because it demonstrates power and authority and consistency and stability. Like, I understand the Chip Roy. Okay. I understand the purpose of these buildings. I just don't like it because we are so far in debt, I don't think we can afford them. But that's just me. I also wonder, why did we stop building things like this? Like regular... hang on a second. I might have to leave you for a second. My daughter's calling me. So enjoy the chair for just a minute. I'll let you listen to this. Be right back. One of the things about being a single parent. That is correct, Dario, dad and duty. Yeah, absolutely. Being a single dad, not ideal, but hey, when duty calls, you go. I love my kids though. They're great. Where were we? Oh yeah, we don't build beautiful buildings anymore. Seems like most people don't in the world. We went from, the Roman Colosseum and these Greek amphitheaters and buildings like this that we're in for the inauguration. And now we just have these gray, square, boring buildings. Even old brick buildings, like you go to the cities, you had these, gargoyles and Gothic architecture. We have cathedrals. We just have all of these ornate and just beautiful buildings. And now most of the buildings that mankind creates are just boring and dull and square. It's so sad. Same there, Dario. Yeah, I'm sure. It seems like we should just not do it, Dan Crenshaw. Ugh. Okay, I'll keep my opinions about some of these folks to myself. Not a big fan of most of the rhinos in here. Yeah, absolutely, Dario. Absolutely. Yeah, the pardoning of the January 6th committee, the pardoning of Dr. Fauci, the pardoning of just all the folks that he has pardoned. Can someone tell me why? Churches. Yeah. Churches, I mean, for the most part, churches are the only buildings that are still built beautifully. And that's of any religion, right? You see temples, mosques, churches. Some of the Protestant churches, like Protestants, don't really seem to care much about architecture or beauty. We kind of make churches wherever. Pole barns, square buildings, brick buildings, whatever. But yeah, the Catholic Church, some of the more Orthodox churches, yeah, they still make pretty buildings. Now, again, I could see the argument either way. Could the Catholic Church maybe take down the opulence just a little bit and help out more people? Help out more poor people? Probably. By the way, if you need some coffee, feel free to drink your coffee along with me, but you can use our promo code and purchase coffee from coffeebrandcoffee.com. Jeremy from the Quartering, he runs that company. I have an affiliate agreement with, not really an affiliate agreement, but I have a promo code with them. So it helps out the channel just a little bit every time you buy something through them using the promo code. I do really enjoy their coffees. They have coffee, tea, and cocoa. I don't do tea or cocoa, but I do like light roast coffee. So blend one or blend two is my favorite from them. Now, my parents like medium roast, so blend 3 is my mom's favorite. So I bought her a bag of that for Christmas. Always a good present. But yeah, I drink like 2 pots of coffee a day. So cheers. Now, I think this event is actually supposed to start at 11 a.m., so in about 27 minutes. But I didn't know if you guys had anything else that you guys wanted to talk about. Because right now, I'm just going to talk about these pardons. These pardons are infuriating to me. If Biden isn't signing executive orders or forgets about signing them, either way, it's still pretty shit. Who is signing these pardons? Does he remember signing these pardons? Need a free trade agreement with the U.S. to be able to buy that coffee? Ooh, fair enough. Fair enough. I can see your point there, Dario. That is true. International trade and international purchasing online is complicated. It's stuff like that I think we could complicate less or make less complicated. You see, all these just overly paid people. Oh, no worries, Dario. You don't need to apologize about it. But all these people that get paid way too much to do way too much damage to our country are all getting together to have a good old time together. But anyways, back to what we were discussing. So Biden either doesn't remember or isn't signing these pardons either. But it just so happens that we pardoned his son for 11 years. What are you expecting on executive orders? A lot. I think we basically have heard that Trump plans. Whoop. Hello. Wrong button. Ha. Doing it live. Trump plans to sign more executive orders in his first day than anybody has in history. Now, we'll see if that comes to pass. We'll also see how many of those are just to undo the damage that Biden has done and how many are to do new things. But the point of executive orders is to direct parts of the executive branch how they're going to do their job. And since this is a new administration from a different party with an entirely different perspective on how the country should be ran, I'm assuming there are going to be quite a few. But back to the pardons. These pardons started with they didn't really start with, but his son got the biggest one. An 11-year pardon for anything he might have done in that 11-year period, from anything found on his laptop, from purchasing a firearm and lying on the form, the NFA form. Now, or the ATF form, apologies. I would love it for them to have taken his case all the way to the Supreme Court, because I think it would have been peak irony to have Hunter Biden's firearm case be the reason that ATF form gets thrown out as unconstitutional. This was Tim Pool's take. This is my take. This is a lot of people's take on X. That little kids are always cute. I have a 4 and a 5-year-old, so kids are always amusing to me. Where were we? Yes, the ATF form. It would have been hilarious and ironic for Hunter Biden's case to be the reason that form gets thrown out, because it is unconstitutionally requiring that you violate your own Fifth Amendment and incriminate yourself on a federal form that is punishable by jail time if you lie on it, as Hunter was finding out. He had an addiction problem. He put on the form that he didn't have an addiction problem. Telling the government in an official document that you have an addiction problem is self-incrimination. So I disagree with it. I think it's terrible that we all have to fill that form out and incriminate ourselves potentially every time we do, or face jail time if we lie on it, which I do not encourage you to, as much as I hate the ATF. But I would have much preferred Hunter Biden's case to go to the Supreme Court and get that ATF form thrown out as unconstitutional under the Fifth Amendment. But he didn't want to go through the process. I think he was also afraid of what would be found in discovery, because we all know, and it's been admitted now finally, that the Hunter Biden laptop is authentic. The things on it are real, and the contents of it are atrocious. The pictures on it, the video and audio on it, the things on it, his involvement with Burisma, which just happens to be the period of time that the pardon starts. Oh, yeah. Here we go. We got Dario comments. From my point of view as an Argentinian or an Argentine, always looking north, it was incomprehensible what happened with your policy. Oop. Hang on a sec. See if they say anything. Is Biden lost? Dude, that Secret Service agent was like, the hell? Look at the doors on that thing. Jesus. Look at the doors. That is some armor. Whew. We have Biden and Trump. All right, we're not going to hear their discussion from inside the beast. So, as I stated, Dario, as an Argentine, is incomprehensible what happened to the policy in recent years. Incredible. I don't know if you, as a citizen from the greatest free world power, realize it. It was very close. It was very close, Dario. I completely agree with you. I think it was incomprehensible. I don't think Biden was actually in charge. That was just my opinion. It's an opinion. It is not a statement of fact. I don't believe that President Biden was actually the one in charge. I don't believe that he was the one signing these executive orders. I don't believe that he signed most of those pardons. I think the people running the government for him made most of those decisions for him. And I don't think we'll ever find out about it, because we still don't know what happened with John F. Kennedy. Maybe we will hear soon, because Trump has said he was going to release some of that information. But yeah, we came so close to losing it all, in my opinion. If Harris had continued the trajectory that the Biden administration took us down, it would not have been good for us. It would not have been good for the free world. It would have meant much more conflict and death. It would have meant tragedy. We've got the war in Ukraine. We've got the war over Gaza. We've got all of these conflicts, Yemen, Syria, Libya. Like, guys, people are dying around the globe because of the weakness in this government. My opinion. So it is a damn shame that we had to go through it for 4 years. It's also a damn shame that some of the biggest criminals in this administration, again, my opinion, they acted in a criminal manner, in my opinion. But some of the biggest criminals from this administration have now pretty much all received pardons from Biden. See if the parade route is lined with BS. So the inauguration was moved indoors, but you can see there's still a lot of public support. I don't think they're here to watch Biden go by in the limousine. Just putting that out there. Agree with me? I appreciate it, Dario. It is, again, just my opinion. I'm not going to make any statements of fact. I have not done enough research in most of these matters to do so, and I don't care to be sued or prosecuted. But at least with Trump in power, I don't think I have to worry about being prosecuted unless I do something real out of pocket. You doing all right there, Dario? So we got a lot of police presence you can see here. Copyrights. What did I get? Did the stream get took down? I am streaming USA Today's stream, so thank you, USA Today. I am also talking over it because I don't really care for them to pick up the audio until we get to the important parts. Let's check it out real quick. He made a comment. Give me just 1 second. See, I'm still showing the stream up. It looks like it might have just come back up. Let me check it on my end. Oh, that's crap. Boo. Well, let's see. Is it still up on X? So I believe we're still live on X. So let me... You can come on over there at least. Leave a chat there. Looks like we're still up on X.